fired up, man. It is a huge, huge, huge night of sports. A lot of bets to be placed over the next hour. And I'm really hoping that you can tail some bets, learn a couple things about my favorite software of all time, OddsJam. We're going to be using a bunch of different tools on tonight's stream. Arbitrage, middle betting, positive EV, DFS. Just kind of perusing, talking about what data-driven sharp sports betting looks like, how to identify certain trends, how to look for certain specific things that I target as a profitable sports bettor. And the goal here is that you can not only just tail some free picks, but then also, learn something along the way with this software. So I do have DFS teed up, ready to rock and roll. This SGA PrizePicks taco, guys, it's out there. Where am I at here? There we go. Let me put myself up in the top right-hand corner here. That SGA taco's out, and I did share a slip on X a little earlier talking about, shared that slip, so we have to wait probably right until the very end of the stream to find out what the third and final taco is today before we share that. So outside of Taco Tuesday, there's a lot of solid value on PrizePicks. DVing into Pinnacle at the moment, looking at maybe Royce O'Neal under on threes. Let's take a look between FanDuel and Pinnacle. Who's moving? Both books are moving. Pinnacle's moving a little bit more. They're a little more bullish on this play. If you think that FanDuel's a sharper sports book for NBA player props, then this is probably not a play that you don't really want because there's not going to be much of an edge. But I don't mind that Royce O'Neal play. For Larson here with the Hawks and the Heat, same kind of scenario here. You're going to find this out a lot when it comes to player props, that Pinnacle and FanDuel really disagree with each other. And it really just comes down to who do you believe is a sharper sports book. And I think you can use a combination of both when you're trying to cook up your slips. Now, the key thing here is that Pinnacle's moved a lot in the last 15 minutes on Larson. So I like this quite a bit. Speaking of the NBA, obviously really huge trade going down between the Jazz and the Grizzlies. So I'm all right with both of these plays with O'Neal and with Larson. But Jaren Jackson headed out west, which is really interesting. So Larson under on points. Let's go with Royce. Take his under on threes. Just fading dudes left and right. And so anything that's below minus 120, when you're looking for plays for three pick slip guys at minus 122 odds. So this is a good thing. 122 is below this number and this number. The Jalen Brunson play has a very small edge. So what I'll go over and do is kind of just take a look over here at FanDuel and see if they have any plays that they really like. I am using worst case. You can use power default. If you use power default, then your edge is going to go up quite a bit. So I'm using a very conservative method. Clowney right here under on points and rebounds. This is a FanDuel only market. Looks like maybe PrizePicks just bumped because this was a very good play. So let's refresh this once more to see what's new. Keyshawn George over on his points and assists. I don't mind that. So this is going to be our three pick slip. And I'm going to share this right here with you guys. Three pick slip, no insurance. As outside of the tacos, we get one on the board. The slip that we shared this morning, guys, that I shared with you, we've already hit our first leg. What's going on, Wilbo? How are you, man? Yeah, it is Tuesday, guys. Hawaiian Tuesday, always. MP, what's going on? Anton, 49ers. MP says I'm playing for the Pacers for tonight. Interesting, MP. Once I saw that all the Pacers went that were ruled out, I did bet the Jazz on the money line. Not really a positive EV play, but I know the Jazz are missing Nurkic. I know they're missing a couple of guys, but I don't know. The Pacers are coming off a back-to-back, though they are at home for both games. But interestingly enough, we did hit our first pick, guys, on the on this slip that I shared. So we're off and running here. If you guys tailed this for the people that woke up with me or were with me this morning, we hit on collapse. So we just need to hit on McCann and Max Domi, and that's going to be a cash for us, which is really nice. So there we go. I got to take a quick screenshot, though, of this Larson Royce O'Neal slip. Let's head over to Underdog to see what we got going on over there. And I do have the Sharp Money tool pulled up over here, guys, getting ready for us to take a look at that. But we'll take a look. We're going to look at some Kalshi plays tonight as well. All right. So again, you can see I have 28 results down here using worst case. If I switch this to power, my results will go up. Actually, oh man, this is the one time. The one time I say it doesn't happen. It always goes up. 26 right now at the moment, which is fine. NCAA, there's a bunch of unders right now on NCAA. I'm sorry, not NCAA, NAW that we want to hit up, which is interesting. FanDuel loves these unders for his PRA. We got to move quickly on this underdog, though, because if this is real, it's not going to be around much longer. Brunson, under on his rebounds and assists, under 9.5. Where's it at? There it is. Okay. And then what's the last one? Dyson Daniels. Don't know if they'll let me combine both. So let's go over to Pinnacle. We could go back to Larson. I could go with Michael Porter Jr. That's not really an edge. This Larson play is. What do we got here? Ben Shepherd over on points. Somebody has to score points for the Pacers tonight. Somebody has to. So we're going to go with Mr. Shepherd. Because, they already nerfed that. They nerfed that payout. Okay. Markkanen under on points and rebounds. I'm fine with that. No, I mean, he is my guy tonight. Need Laurie to have a nice game for the Jazz, but we're going on his under on his points and rebounds. Nope, I already bumped. It was 35.5. It's now 34.5. We could go Cade over on his rebounds. Let's see. Over 4.5. All right. And NCAA has already been bumped. Or NAW, excuse me. NAW's already been bumped. Can we go back to him, though, and maybe grab a different... Probably not. I wanted to see if maybe we can go back and get a different projection from him. Can I do his points and assists? They probably bumped it all. Yeah, everything's bumped. So we got Jalen, we got Cade. Man, that was a really, really good play. We could do Bridges over on his rebounds. Possibly. They might give me a problem, though, because I took Brunson. We'll see. Again, guys, this time of the day, you have to move really quickly. They'll let us do this. Great. All right, 3-pick slip, guys, no insurance. I'll share this with you. We're taking the under on Brunson's rebounds and assists, but the over on Bridges. And then we're taking Cade over on his rebounds as well. 3-pick slip on underdog. So there we go. Using FanDuel as our sharp, finding some plays with an edge. Appreciate that, Saints fan. Yeah, Alex made a great video on Kalshi and Poly Market. And obviously, as you guys, for OGs and DGens, you guys know this. We've been pumping out prediction market content. We're going to continue to do so because I think it's just really it's really in its infancy in terms of its lifespan for sports, particularly sports. I'm not trading crypto or politics over there, but for sports, it's in its infancy, and I think there's a lot of money that can be made on the prediction markets. I haven't played basketball in a while, so definitely take my under suit up for the Pacers. I no problem, MP. Yeah, or if you see like a bunch of players out for the Pacers and the Jazz tonight, taking the under is not the worst thing as well. Obviously, guys, for my Dub Club people, hand up there because I posted the card for one of our plays on that game before all of those players were announced that they're out. Not saying that we can't hit the over, but obviously it's a tall task. Tall task is for sure. All right, let's go over to Better and see what we have going on there. I normally, guys, like to go around the horn with all of these books and just hit up one at a time. There we go. 38 results for worst case, 40 results for power. It's not a big difference, but there is a small difference, right? For Pinnacle, we're looking at 19 for power. We look at 15 for worst case. So worst case is very conservative. You're going to see the edge is not quite as high over there, but still pretty solid. A lot of NBA games tonight, guys. There's, I don't know, like 9 or 10 or something. It's pretty crazy. Cooper Flag, this discount we got on his points and rebounds on Better. We play these discounts every day. For the most part, the discounts that Better offers, they hit. Not the case last night with Joel Embiid, but for the most part, it is. So Klay Thompson under on his points, Celtics and the Mavericks. Under 13.5. Okay, now we can jump into this. We could take a look at it. You know, Pinnacle's at minus 158. They're the most bullish on this play. Circa's at minus 140. But again, this was a massive drop off by Pinnacle. This kind of line movement is what I look for. Just not for DFS, but for any play. Doesn't matter what the sports book is. You see Pinnacle drop off a cliff like that, I get really excited. Josh Hart, over on his points. Same thing. Bingo. Similar movement here. I like that a lot. So we're going to go under on Clay, but we're going to take the over on Josh Hart on his points, and we're going to call that a 3-pick slip. No insurance, $10 max entry. Again, if you have a smaller bankroll, this is a great type of discount to use to build that type of bankroll. So link is incoming right here. Again, for those of you that when I post, someone commented that when I post the underdog link, it didn't show any of the plays. Most likely then that's because the plays may be bumped. But obviously that's the best. You know, I try my best to make sure I share those links with you guys. Without sharing the link, then the only other way that I could really share the plays with you is just taking a screenshot of the slip, and then you would have to manually add them. So if the link doesn't work, I do apologize. That's really the best I can do. So for whoever commented saying, the link isn't working, probably that means the play is probably bumped, and you're not going to be able to see everything that was out there, right? It's not like I'm sharing a fake link or anything like that. Because at this time of the day, things move really quickly. People are coming home from work. They're getting ready to bet the NBA slate of games, especially the East Coast games. And the activity is just ramped up exponentially when it comes to betting on player props this time of day. Because that's what everybody's really interested in betting. So, obviously with this many games, you can notice that we haven't even went over the sharp money tool yet because we just have so much going on. Next up, we're doing a combination of dabble and parlay play. Out here in Arizona, very lucky to have a lot of different options when it comes to DFS. So for Murray on his assists, okay. Doesn't look too bad. I don't mind that on parlay play, but there isn't many other options other than Moses Moody. But for dabble, I like Cody Williams. I like Rui. I can get down with Paulo. So first off, we'll add the Cody Williams play, and then we're going to devig over to FanDuel to see what they like. Again, guys, follow me at Dabble at Billy C. I just throw it up on my phone right here and log in, and then we hit some plays up. So we're looking at Cody Williams in this Pacers game. He plays for Utah, which has some players out, but not as many. We're taking the under 9.5. Cool. And then let's take a look at FanDuel and see what they think. FanDuel is a big fan of Brucey, under on his points in this Pistons game. Okay. And then we could do Jalen again, or I could go with somebody else like Rasharia or however you say this dude's name. I'm cool with that in the Hawks and the Heat. And so this is going to be a points bet, guys, all unders. Make sure I got this right. Yep. And then just follow me over there at Billy C, guys. I just posted the entry. So if you follow me, you can copy the slip automatically. I'm going to take a little screenshot of this. And so that's Dabble. Dabble recently just became live in Arizona. I would say about a month ago maybe. And really, really solid. Really, really solid. I like using them. So for parlay play, I don't mind hitting this one up. I don't mind doing kind of a combination of taking the over on Jamal Murray on his assists. Grabbing the over 6.5 on his assists. Isaiah Jackson on his rebounds. Again, for parlay play, the troubling part for me is I can't share a link. I don't know how to do it, or they don't provide it. If someone knows how to do it, let me know. And then what else do we have here? Nurkic, over on his assists. It's cool with me. I don't mind taking the Nurkic play. It's a lower edge play. If I go over to Pinnacle and go to Power, do we see anything else for parlay play? We do, actually. Bobby Portis to grab a double-double tonight. I'm cool with that. I'll go with Bobby Portis instead to hit up a double-double. So this is going to be a 3-pick slip. over on parlay play. And there we go. So again, not really sure how to share the link here, guys. But for those of you that want to know what the play is, I'll just kind of chill here for a second. Isaiah Jackson over rebounds, Portis to get a double-double, Jamal over on assist. So these are all overs that we're taking advantage of on parlay play. And then obviously, last but not least, for our DFS, a couple of things. Number one, we'll throw up Sleeper. So for anyone that uses Sleeper, we'll take a look at that. And then obviously DraftKings Pick 6. So I'm logging into Pick 6 right now. Going to hit this up. So for anyone that uses Sleeper, we'll throw this up here at the moment to see if we can show anything. 4 results. Pretty good. Now, these are all NHL goal scorers, okay? This is something I've definitely noticed on Sleeper. God, I'm so jealous if you have Sleeper. If you can straight bet these, straight bet these. Hyman, Connor McDavid, Leon, all to score for Edmonton. I don't know. Those are 3 pretty good dudes that I'd want to bet on to score a goal tonight. And then Boone Jenner's a very big underdog here. So I don't know for my Sleeper people if you can bet straight wagers, because I've only used Sleeper for fantasy football. But let me know if you can, because if you can, I would definitely hit up these 2. Leon's fine, but I would really go with Hyman and McDavid. And let's go and see what we got on Pick 6. Pick 6, we have a 50% winnings boost for a 4-pick entry. Also a booster NHL entry. The problem, I really never ever use the NHL boosts on Pick 6, guys. There's not very many markets available. And so it's kind of like I don't really go after it too often. On FanDuel, again, this is all NHL, which again, I have all the leagues selected here, guys. But it's just NHL that seems to be showing a lot of value. Don't know why this is upside down. But, yeah, I would really go with Hyman and McDavid if you want to add Boone Jenner. That's cool as well. That's what I would use. All right, let's hit up DraftKings Pick 6. We're just motoring right along, which is awesome. All right, Carlton Carrington on his PRA. Again, we have to move pretty quickly when it comes to this with Pick 6. LeBron under on his PRA. So we got 1 over, 1 under. Cool. All right, that's according to FanDuel. What about Pinnacle? Pinnacle has 5 results. Klay Thompson under on points. Cody Williams under on points. Those have significantly higher edges. Significantly higher. I know we put Klay and Cody on a slip earlier, but I'm willing to go back to the well with these dudes. All right, this is the 4-pick slip, guys. We're going to throw this out there, and I will share this with you guys right here. All right, DraftKings Pick 6. This is the boost 4-pick entry. I put a full $50 on this. That pays out $750. 3 unders and an over. I'll kind of just pause here for a second. That's the boost. Again, if I throw this up for the NHL, there's really just like shots on goal and I think goal scores for NHL. So there's not that much. But obviously, we'll take a look to see if we can find anything. Yeah, we got shots on goal, 1-point goals, saves, ice time. I mean, they have some markets. I won't lie there. They do have some markets, but man, it's just like not much. Not much at all. You can see there's no results here when I'm using Pinnacle. If I use OddsJam in general, there's nothing. FanDuel, Circa, like none of the books have anything for NHL, so it's kind of tough. Let's take a look at the Sharp Money tool. And I don't really have much set up at the moment here, guys. I have all the books selected, player props, main markets. What's the top play? Phoenix Suns on the money line. This morning, guys, we bet the Trailblazers on the money line at plus 143 over at Bet Rivers. And looks like we got some closing line value because you can't get plus 143 other than at Polymarket, which is going to be for people that live outside the United States because Polymarket's currently not available in the U.S. If it is, let me know. But I tried a few times with Polymarket, can't use it, but I do use Kalshi quite a bit. So a really good play here. Obviously, if I wanted to arb out of this play, obviously I'd hit this up on Hard Rock, but I'm not really looking to arb out of it. But if you guys do have Hard Rock, this looks really good on the Suns. Rebet at -141 is not terrible. Jazz on the money line over at Rebet. Speaking of Rebet, -127 odds. I bet them earlier today at -116. So again, guys, this was kind of a hunch, but I follow Underdog NBA, and I receive every single notification that Underdog NBA posts. As soon as I saw that 5 Indiana Pacers players were all out, Nembhard, Siakam, Nesmith, however the hell you say the dude's name, Mathurin, everybody was basically out. I went ahead and bet the Jazz on the money line, and so I got them at -116 over at 4CX, which wasn't the best price at the time, but it was a competitive price. And lo and behold, now the Jazz are at like -138, -142. So if you're, I know that there's people out there that originate and they have really good models. And, if you're not one of those guys and you're just kind of like just relying on like maybe people that you follow on OddsJam, just following Underdog NBA and kind of using a little common sense saying like, dude, there's a bunch of people that are out for the Pacers. They have to field a team on the court tonight. Maybe you want to hop on the Jazz. So I'm on the Jazz. Nice to see we got some closing line value on Portland and on Utah. Magic on the money line. Ooh, bet the SI. If this is real, I want some of this. A little sprinkle here, guys. This is also over at FanDuel, +280 odds. Bet DSI or FanDuel. Somebody wants this at +293 for about 12K, which is tough to get. I don't mind a little sprinkle here. This is a long shot underdog play. Magic taking on the Thunder. Orlando's on the road. But, dude, little long shot sprinkle here. FanDuel, bet DSI. I mean, if you can get this at 280 at FanDuel, that's awesome. I'm going to check this out on DSI, a global offshore sportsbook that I use quite a bit. Yeah, they're there at 280, man. They're telling me to bet $20. I'll put like a 40 spot on them. Nah, what are we talking about? Let's just do 50. I just like doing 50. 50 is kind of easy. Probably betting a little bit more than what I should on this for my bankroll at the moment, but still, I'm cool with that. We get that. Magic, money line, $50, +280 odds, taking on the Thunder. Love seeing that. Now, we get into some player props here, okay? So Ryan Rollins, whether it's Bovada or DraftKings, very good price here. Even the score at -105 is not too bad. The under on his rebounds and assists. So remember, no vig, ProfitX, these exchanges. You can post as much money as you want to on these exchanges. The more that you post, the more money that you bet over there, the more that they make money. So they want you to bet more money. You can bet tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars if you wanted to. No questions asked. So on Ryan Rollins, people want this at -115 odds, -114 odds. If you're showing +115, that means this person wants the other side, which is -115. So rough as a collective group here, there's about $3,100, which is a lot better than what Pinnacle's offering. And as you can see, DraftKings just moved to -117. The score moved to -110. So the sharp money tool's onto something here. Bovada props are back. Ben, I don't know if you're on the stream now, dude, but I know you asked this morning. Bovada props are back. I talked about sometimes the scraping with OddsJam from time to time. They're here. If you have Bovada, get after it right now. Looks really, really good. So let me refresh this page. And I'm all right, guys, with taking some long shot underdog odds over here. Rollins is right now +106 over at FanDuel, which, not bad. Not bad at all for his rebounds and assists. This is a flip play for college basketball player props. Again, I don't really think any sportsbook's sharp on college basketball player props. South Carolina versus Texas. This dude plays for SC. If you wanted to over a flip, go ahead and bet it. Talked about this Magic play. I'm on this. FanDuel bet DSI +280 odds. What else do we got over here? Boomers. This is a sports book that's only available out in Vegas. So if you got, or Nevada, I should say. So if you're in Nevada, this is a book that you can use. They're popping up with a lot of value. Obviously, I'm in Arizona, so next time I'm in Vegas or I'm down there for Bet Bash in August, I will definitely take a look at Boomers, but I hope to be in Vegas before August. Akron at minus 900 odds on either two offshore sportsbooks. Bet anything in every game. Okay. Drew Holiday here. There's $2,000 on his player props. If you guys like short odds plays, you can bet this play on Akron. I'm not really crazy about betting minus 900 odds. Drew Holiday here. This is kind of one of those outliers, right? Over on his blocks. Someone's posted $2,100 on this market. They won it at plus 424 odds. I don't know how many people are posting like this kind of liquidity. And obviously that means they've maybe only posted a couple $100 because you could bet $2,100 at a very short odds type of play. But again, when I see this much liquidity posted on a market like this for a niche NBA player prop market, I believe it's a professional sharp sports bettor, not just some dude that's really loves to watch the Portland Trail Blazers play basketball. That's my 2 cents on that. So Bruce Brown on his rebounds. You know, somebody wants this at plus 111. Someone wants it at plus 115. This is a lower amount of liquidity over here for the sharp money tool, but not a bad price at MGM. But you could also get this roughly not too far off over at FanDuel if you really wanted to. Appreciate everyone that's kind of tuning in the stream. We're just kind of rolling through. We've shared a lot of slips for DFS. Shared one on basically every DFS platform: PrizePicks, Underdog, Better, Parlay Play, Dabble, and DraftKings Pick 6. So we're now just kind of looking at the sharp money tool before we jump into some arbitrage, middle betting, and then positive EV. But here on Victor Hedman, this is a play at minus 115 odds. You can really only get this, looks like, over at Hard Rock. Yeah, unfortunately, this is a Hard Rock only play. But, you know, there's about $1,400 collectively posted on his over-under 1.5 player total shots. Maybe not a bad idea if you're a Hard Rock user to hit this up. All right, let's take a look at some arbitrage. What do we got for ARBs? We're looking at mainline markets, but now we can throw in some player props. Again, guys, for my setup, I don't have a minimum ROI. It's maximum 10%. Again, if you like these tools at OddsJam, you want to try it out for yourself. We're at one of the best times in the sports betting calendar right now to make a shitload of cash. Use code Billy35. You're going to receive a 1-week free trial, and then 35% off your first month after that 1-week trial ends. So try it for free for a week. And then if you want to keep using it, you're going to get a really good discount for the whole month. And so I would try it. All right, it doesn't matter if it's February, it's 30 days. So you're going to get a 30-day free trial. So check it out, guys. I definitely think you're going to have a lot of fun, especially if you are someone that has a little bit of time. Arbitrage betting right now, like this Pacers Jazz game, tips off in 32 minutes. So this is a great time to arbitrage bet. DraftKings Sports Zeno, we're talking about some insane returns on your investment. And if you have the patience, live arbitrage betting can even be more lucrative. 49ers Faithful, appreciate that, man. Yeah, we're going to have to look at pick 6 for JSN because there's going to definitely be some value out there. So when we go back to the EV tool, we'll definitely take a look at that free square. I know it's a free square on pick 6 that I haven't hit up yet, but I definitely want to as we're getting now closer to kickoff, which I'm very pumped up about the Super Bowl. All right, so, you know, DraftKings and Bovada, we're talking about a 7% ROI return. Best thing about this, you don't care what Miles Turner does. Hits his over, hits his under, doesn't matter, right? The more money that you can invest in this play, the more money you're going to be able to make. So maybe you bet a flat $100 over here. Bet $170 on DraftKings. Nobody bets $169.17. Round this number up to $170. We're talking about a $20 return on this investment. Okay, if you don't have $270 to wager, no problem, right? Try to find numbers that work, maybe $100 and $60, or, $50 and $30, right? You put in $80, you're going to make $6 off that. And, you know, this is something I think that really gets lost with people at arbitrage betting. They're like, dude, $6, who cares? Well, you're making a 7% return off of this investment, and the S&P 500 might provide you 8% annual returns. This is a 7% daily return. So I don't have to wait the entire year to receive my 8% return from the S&P. I get a 7% return today. This game's going to take 3 hours, and then I'm going to get that money back and reinvest it. So that's definitely something that gets lost on people, is that, you know, even with the tax laws, like, dude, you're making 7% returns. Pretty good. Ken, what's going on, man? What's going on? And I'm still bullish that the tax laws are going to get reversed in our favor. I'm still bullish on it. I'm not going to go and bet it on Kalshi, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, so obviously, the more sports books that you have, guys, the more opportunities you're going to have. I don't know on any given day what books are going to line up with what, but this is going to be. That's why you want to sign up with as many as you possibly can. So here we go. Bet 105 and FanDuel. Oh, I don't know if this is real. If it's real, I'm going over and doing it like right now. Obviously, you want to already be logged into the books. You don't want to be doing what I'm doing, which is logging in right now at this particular moment. So you can click on this play, and it's going to be posted up here. Right now, who's off on this? Bet 105 is definitely the book that's off on this play. So you really want to go bet this first over at Bet 105. But honestly, you can make a case that FanDuel's pretty far off as well. This is the over-under on the points. Bet 105 is an offshore sportsbook that copies Pinnacle's odds. They have this a little annoying thing. Every time I log in, I have to get an authorization code, which is kind of a pain in the butt. All right, so we're looking at Turner, and we're looking at this Bucks-Bulls game. We're looking for him to score over 15.5 points. It's not his main line. His main line's at 17.5. So we're looking at the under 15.5. So this is an alt line. It's there right now. Unfortunately, I only have $27 left in my FanDuel account, but that's all right. So we really want to take a look first. I know that this play's out there on FanDuel. I'm seeing it. Everything looks good. So I want to submit this bet first over at Bet 105. And right now, yeah, they have everything kind of lined out. So it definitely was a mistake there by Bet 105, and it's not going to probably be able to hit this play up. But something that you definitely want to take a look at. And this is in terms of execution here, guys. I'm logged into FanDuel. I have this play pulled up right here at the moment. Right? Like I see this at plus 154, under 15.5, so I know this is legit. But I want to go ahead and execute the bet first over at Bet 105, and at the moment I can't do so. So what you don't want to do is go find the play on FanDuel, bet it, then go to Bet 105 and try to place the bet and find out, shit, the market's all locked, right? That's when you're going to find that you're going to find yourself as one-sided, and that's not going to be good because now you just literally have a bet on the under on Miles Turner, which is a heavy underdog at that. So in terms of execution, understanding your sports books is going to be very important, and that's just going to take time. So that's why your first couple of ARBs, you just want to go slow. You want to bet lower amounts. You want to get a feel for things. You want to understand how to navigate these books. Don't just rely on the one-click bet feature. If the one-click bet feature doesn't work, do you know how to navigate to MGM or the Score or the DraftKings and find this play on your own? Because when you start to level up your arbitrage bet sizing, and then all of a sudden, the link doesn't work for DraftKings on the one-click bet feature, you're going to be absolutely having a heart attack. So you want to know how to navigate these sports books on your own without using the one-click bet feature. But all right, that's pretty much it for arbitrage, guys. It's a very simple strategy. Day trade the books. Bovada, Hard Rock, Bovada, BetMGM, SportZeno. Looking at Props Builder here. I mean, there's some really, really good ARBs. On a day like today, when there's a billion NBA games, you can see that when I start scrolling, we're at 9, 8, 7, 6. These are all over 4 or 5% returns off of your investment. So even if you're only able to wager $10, $15, it's still really, really, really good. I'm just kind of paying attention right now. I still have the FanDuel play pulled up, and I'm paying attention to what's going on over here on Bet 105, but their odds just aren't populating. They're definitely moving around. Would love to see if I can hit an ARB up for you guys here, if I can see something that I'm obviously not too limited on. But it doesn't look like it at the moment. So we're going to keep it moving. Outside of arbitrage betting, if you're like, dude, Billy, I'm limited on arbitrage betting, it's not worth my time, then check out middle betting. And check out middle betting for mainline markets, because normally you can wager more money on mainline markets. Like this Hawks Heat game is a great example. Let's see if this is real. Because if it is, it's very solid. Heat win by 4 points, Hawks cover the spread, you're going to be very happy. Even on a limited MGM account, you can get down some pretty good money over here. So looking at the Hawks at Heat -4. Yeah, this is plus 146 odds. I can bet this over here on Bet 105. So all I'm going to do is just see if I can hit this up over at BetMGM. This is an NBA point spread play. So you're only making a 0.17% return off of your investment, which might not sound like much. But if by some chance this score ends where the Hawks lose exactly by 4 points, then you're in a really good spot. Really good spot. So if I bet $100 over here, $69 here, I'm really hoping that the Heat win this game by 4 points. And then we're going to make $69 in profit over at MGM. So all I'm going to do first is, again, I know I can get this bet down over at Bet 105. I'm going to first log into BetMGM, and I'm currently in the process of making a deposit, which is not ideal. Not ideal at the moment. So let me do this on my phone and see if I can get this in here. All right, let's make a quick deposit. And again, you don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now, guys, which is logging in the books and trying to make a deposit and doing all this stuff. But I know I can wager $100 on this market. And once I can throw in $100 here, I'm going to go after this. So, I'm not going to lose any money here. And it's going to be really, really nice in terms of 35 cents. Jeez, oh, Pete, they're making me go to my bank. So we'll come back to this here in a second, as I'm just logging in because I really like to hit this up. But again, you could hit this play up in a couple different places. This is going to be a slight loss when it comes to going over to BetMGM and Bet365. Anything that's a negative percentage is not really going to work out. What else do we got here? But all of these plays, especially on these NBA plays, you're going to have a great time hitting these up. All right, finally, we're in. All right, so I'm going to come back to this play in a second. We're going to go over to the positive EV tool. Let's look at some anytime NHL goal scores. And we'll pull this up, and I'll kind of pause while I throw up the goal scores to see kind of what's going on. 5 results right now. Talked about this over at Sleeper. Fantastic play in terms of if you can bet straight wagers over at Sleeper, NHL goal scores is going to be an awesome time for you, because it's just been a very, very profitable market. So let me look at the spreads here. Yeah, not there anymore. Hawks at plus 4.5 is now minus 155. Of course it is. Of course it is. So I go through all that trouble just to find out that I can't bet that middle. But that's all right. It is what it is. So let me refresh this page. Hyman, McDavid, we talked about this. For my Circa people, Chris Kreider, this is, below 3%. It's above 1.5%. This would be a play that's in consideration. Again, I don't know if I'm going to wager a ton of money on this play. Maybe, a quarter to a half unit on Chris Kreider. Ricard Raquel and Leon are just a little bit below what I normally would like to wager on. So really, it's just if you have Sleeper, hit this up. But we'll open this up to see if any other books are offering anything close to Sleeper here for Hyman. Plus 130 seems to be the next best price. Don't sleep on Kalshi, guys. Kalshi also offers anytime goal scores. I bet one yesterday that didn't cash on Anthony Mantha, but it's they're offering this now, so you definitely want to take advantage of it. Really, these are only sleeper-only plays. All right. Let's take a look at some college hoops, and then we'll be jumping into a bunch of NBA player props. College hoops. One of my favorite things that I like to do is use Circa and Bookmaker for NCAA college basketball point spreads. And I like to pool them together to see if we can find any kind of edges, right? So the league is just college basketball. The market's point spreads. And that's because Circa and Bookmaker take way more money on point spreads than Pinnacle does. So South Carolina, Texas Profitex, there's $13 here, guys. Go bet this. Boston College plus 26.5. You can see Pinnacle's taking $3K. Circa's taking $5,500. I can almost guarantee you that bookmakers taking even more. This is over at Bet Openly, which is a peer-to-peer sports book. Again, this is a 1% edge with Circa and bookmaker agreeing with one another. So Boston College plus 26.5 at 102. And I'm just going to come over here, type in Boston College. And I don't want this play. I want the plus 26.5. And I'm going to bet this. Max bet. And there we go. We're in. Now, I don't have a lot on this one, but we get it for $23.94. Again, this is an exchange, guys. You can't. It's a peer-to-peer sports book. You can't create your own pricing, but you're kind of limited in what you can create. But again, getting really good odds. Again, I'm getting this at plus 104. If I win this bet, just like Novig and ProfitX, Bet Openly takes a little bit of a rake off the top from the winning sports bettor. So I'm really getting paid out at plus 102 odds. But I get a really good price there. And, for 24 bucks, I'll take that all day long. So I love this because my two sharp sports books agree on all these plays. So while these are lower EV edge plays, I have a lot of confidence in these plays because we're getting an incredible price. So ProfitX, Polymarket, LaSalle plus 2.5. I bet this. Obviously these are ProfitX, which isn't available in Arizona, which stinks, but bet these plays, guys, that you see. Low VIG, you could probably bet this over at, it's not really that good over at Bet Online, but you could bet this over at low VIG. Bet 105, Virginia minus 12.5. Did we just move on this? Man, I really wanted to bet this over there. Pinnacle's a minus 103. Yeah, maybe not. Let me refresh this. So this is kind of what I like to do when I combine two sharp sports books together. I love seeing this action. Now, the next thing that we could do is I could say, all right, let's go threes across the board. And let's look at money line plays. Now, one thing I will say for Pinnacle is for money lines for college basketball, they take just about the same amount of money, if not more. Now, what I'll do is I'll just say I don't need 100%, but I would like a combination of Pinnacle Circa, Pinnacle Bookmaker, Circa Bookmaker, right? And guys, this is with the Platinum plan on OddsJam. This is a really unique feature where you can combine multiple books. And it doesn't have to be just the sharp books, right? If you really feel, click select books here, you can select any of the books that you want. If you think DraftKings and Caesars is really sharp on NHL player props, you can create a specific formula based off that. So looking at moneyline plays here, looks to be just Kent State at the moment over at ProfitX. Again, there's only $21 here. Go bet this. Just go bet it. Where it's a really sharp play between Pinnacle and Circa. So love using this custom EV formula. It's definitely gotten faster in terms of how it populates plays. And so it's something that I like to use with combinations. So don't want to forget what you mentioned there, 49ers Faithful on pick 6. Let's get into that now because I know you mentioned that earlier. Let's reset everything. Let's reset this. Let's go to market, player props, date range, next 7 days, sports book, clear it all out. And then let's look at only football. Do I have really anything? At the moment, we don't have any positive EV plays that showcase anything for football. So for DraftKings Pick 6, we're not showing anything. So that means if I go over to the Fantasy Optimizer, we're really not going to see what I want to see, which is if we go to leagues and I select NFL and click apply, all of these plays are going to be probably slightly negative EV. That's what I would say. Yeah, Pinnacle's got Sam Darnold minus 113. We're getting minus 122. So at the moment, this is obviously going to change as we get closer to game time. But right now, I don't really want to cook up a slip on DraftKings just for the sake of it. But we'll definitely do it down the road, man. Definitely do it down the road because this will get better. Let's take a look now at, let's go back to this custom EV formula. And let me fire this up with Pinnacle and FanDuel. So we'll just start with FanDuel player props. And what we'll do here is for the EV formula, I'll select FanDuel and just make them even 50-50. And then we'll use it where they have to agree on their plays. All right, so we got 8 results right now. So this is FanDuel and Pinnacle agreeing on NBA player props. So Sports Zeno, Jamal Murray, it's just a really, really good price. Again, everything, guys, with sports betting, at least with data-driven sports betting, we only care about the price. That's all we care about, right? And if you disagree with me, I could easily change your mind. Because if I give you a good enough price, you'll be interested, right? If you don't want to bet the under on Jamal Murray, but I gave you plus 1 billion odds, I think you would be interested in that play. On the flip side, on the over for Ace Bailey, if I gave you odds of plus 10,000, I think you'd be interested in that play. So it's all about the price. If you're getting a really good price and getting paid out more than what you should, that's all that matters. Because over the course of the long run, as long as you're beating the fair value and you're getting an insane price, that's what we want. So, for most people, I would say you're going to be limited on these books. These are the soft books. But still, with Ace Bailey, you have some options here, plus 118 odds. If you live in a state where you don't have this, then go over to an exchange, try to create this prop over 15.5. Again, somebody's got to score tonight for the Jazz and the Pacers. Bailey plays on the Jazz. Maybe it's him. Maybe he's the guy that has a night. I am limited on Bet Rivers, but right now, I love seeing this combination between these two books. So I'm just going to go log into Bet Rivers right now on my phone and just try to get in some type of wager on Ace Bailey. Even if it's only for 30, 40 bucks, guys, still really worth it to me because it's, 30, 40 bucks. I'll take that all day long. So over 15.5 at plus 118 odds. And I'll just try to bet 100 bucks, but they won't take this from me. They'll take $35. So I'll go in for 35 bucks on Ace Bailey. Appreciate that. Remember, guys, in my opinion, OddsJam software overinflates player props edge. And so why that matters is because this edge and the fair value is going to spit out then your recommended bet size. So the higher the edge, the higher your recommendation of bet sizing. So for player props, I would normally take that bet recommendation, and that's either I would bet to that number, so I would bet up to 120, or I would just bet half to 3/4 of this amount because I think the number is overinflated slightly. I believe there's an edge. I don't think it's 6%, but it's not bad because remember with player props, it's a very low liquidity market. There's not a lot of money in these, so it's really easy to have overinflation when you're odds. But we get Ace Bailey for $35, and looks like they just literally removed their odds. Let's go, baby. Whenever a sportsbook pulls the odds as soon as I bet it, we got a good price. Now, over at Bovada, you can still get this at plus 115. So anyone that does have Bovada, this is really good. Now, I'm limited on Bet Rivers, so I don't really care. But also, this game starts in 12 minutes. So this is the time to bet these plays on these games that start at 5 o'clock. Murray, Isaiah Jackson. I'm in on all these. So let's go. What else do we got here? Cade under on his assists. MGM, if you guys have that, bet it. Bryce Sensabaugh. Again, even though we're looking at lower edge plays here, guys, remember there's an agreement across the board between Pinnacle and FanDuel. So Jay Huff on overtime. I've talked about overtime. It's an online, yes, of course it's online. It's a crypto exchange. So I'm going to come over here to overtime, and we're going to look to hit up this Jay Huff under 13 points. And so, all right. So again, the player prop odds on overtime are correct. They are correct. So, perfect. So I'm going to come over here, guys, and hit this up on overtime. We're looking at plus 100 odds for Jay Huff. And I'm just going to scroll down here. Now, again, it's an exchange, so there's only X amount of liquidity available for these plays. Jay Huff's at minus 102, so the price is a little bit worse. Move to minus 104. I don't like how it's moving. There's $103 in liquidity right where my mouse is. And getting this at minus 104, not excited about that price. So I'm just going to kind of back off on this one. Unfortunately, someone grabbed it. So shout out to whoever grabbed this over at overtime. What else do we got here? Markkanen under on his made threes. Under 2.5. Minus 115. This looks like it's kind of done now. Okay. No Vig. Tim Hardaway Jr. under on points. Not bad. Oscar Thompson. Again, all these plays, guys, you'd say, well, these are really low edges. But again, we have agreement between two books. And so that's very difficult to find that. So when you do, I would have a little bit more confidence in this play. Oscar Thompson, that looked decent for a second. So there's some NBA props. Dude, we're just cooking right now on the stream, moving right along. Let's go back over here. I want to look at some NHL plays at the moment to see kind of what's up. I want to look at some mainline markets and see if we can find anything that's really decent. We talked about this Suns game. The Nuggets can't get, obviously I doubt anyone has Team Mexico, but you can get this at plus 175 over at the Canby Sports Books, which I don't mind. Somebody's posted about 5K. They want this at plus 178. Somebody wants this at plus 180. Okay, Pinnacle's taking 20 grand. They're at plus 168, but Nuggets, that could be something. There we go. Okay. Penguins on the money line against the Islanders. They did not play well last night against Ottawa. Ottawa just really had a really solid game. Somebody has this at 2,700, 3,900. So we got roughly about $6,500 posted on this money line play. People want it at minus 114, minus 113, minus 111. Really just rebet. Fanatics also as well at minus 115. I don't mind that, but you can get this at bet 105. There's a couple different places where you can grab the Penguins on the money line. Talked about the Jazz. I'm already on the Jazz on the money line. UIC Murray State College Hoops, about $1,000 here. Somebody wants this under. All right. I'm on the spread for this game. DraftKings, Ballybet. Somebody wants this at plus 100 odds, guys. You can get this at ProfitX. There's a couple of different books that you can grab this play at the under 157. Got some spread plays coming up here. Nuggets plus 6. Lower look. This is the liquidity is too low here for me. Same kind of with this DePaul play. Liquidity is too low, but I will say this on DePaul. If this is actually out there on BetDSI, I mean, we can get this at minus 110 when Pinnacle's at minus 130. That's that's why I look at these lower liquidity plays. Oh yeah, DePaul at plus 10. Oh my God, yeah, dude, this is amazing. All right, I'm going to grab this right now at BetDSI. I mean, Pinnacle's at minus 130. Just got this over at BetDSI, guys. You got to sign up for this offshore book, guys. This is an incredible book. Hit this up a couple different times. They have college spreads. I got a play earlier today on Fordham that they were just way off, and they honor these bets. They pay me out. It's a solid book. That's an incredible price over there. Let me open up this event page really quick. Like I probably should have double checked it to make sure that my eyes were seeing what it was seeing. But I got DePaul at plus 10. Yeah, bookmakers at plus 9. Circa's at plus 9.5 at minus 120. We got this at plus 10 at minus 110. Whoever's working the trader over at BetDSI is taking a snooze right now. Fantastic. I'm sure DePaul will lose by like 25 tonight, but still really, really good play. All right, let's go back to the EV tool. And we're going to pause this right now. And we're going to take a look just devigging to FanDuel and devigging to Pinnacle for you guys that want to go after some NBA player props. But man, so much going on tonight. This is one of those streams that I could stream for probably like 5 hours. And we're going to tighten things up here, right? On a night like tonight where there's a lot of games, let's really tighten things up. Let's go like minus 125. And let's take this to a plus 125. Right? Let's take an EV percentage of anything that's at least 5% or higher. Devigging to FanDuel. What do we got? You're going to see a ton of Hard Rock plays. I mentioned this before, guys. Go log on to Bet365. This is probably one of my favorite things to do when it comes to betting player props. Hard Rock consistently shows plays that are going to be sometimes, I would say maybe 30 to 50% of the player props. Looking at Hard Rock's odds, you can go grab this over at Bet365. So for those of you that still have a healthy Bet365 account or you've been waiting to bet props, this is what I typically like to do, right? So this play on Collier's not there. How about Filipowski on his points to score 15? It's kind of there. It's at plus 122 odds right now over at Bet365. So this is what I mean, right? Filipowski over on his points, okay? If I come over here to Bet365 and I'm looking at Filipowski to score 15 points or more, I mean, this is currently out there plus 122 odds. This is a really, really good play. This game is about to start in like 10 minutes, so this is perfect timing to go bet this. And again, I mean, they're probably telling me to wager everything I should. I'm going to throw $75 over here on Filipowski. So I go grab this right now, guys, over on Bet365 at plus 122 odds for $75. It's not as good as Hard Rock, but dude, it's really, really good. I mean, it's an ARB to FanDuel. I could literally ARB this on FanDuel if I wanted to. So this is what I'm talking about with Bet365, which is just pull up Hard Rock as your sharp book and then just take a look at the plays. And you might find some plays that are close to it, if not the same, right? And because this Jazz game is about to start like in minutes away, this is what I normally like to do in general. So just only focusing on these plays on Hard Rock is kind of my go-to right here. It's like Drew Holiday on threes. Not there. How about his player points? Yeah, I mean, here it is, right? No, never mind. No, that wasn't even close. Fanatics, J Huff, first quarter points. Try to bet this, 5, 10. Even if you only bet $10 on Fanatics, guys, bet that. We got some good, solid plays over here on this Heat game. I'll still check Bet365 to see if they pair up for MGM at all. Like on this Muhammad play, on his combos, on his points and rebounds. Yeah, I mean, here it is. Over 13.5, MGM's plus 100 odds. Plus 100 odds here. I'll throw my last final $50 on this play. Bingo. There we go. Grab that on Muhammad. This play is about to start, and this game starts in, 30 minutes or so. So I get the same odds as BetMGM, but I get it over at 365 for the same exact price. According to FanDuel, that's a 7.5% edge. Pinnacle doesn't offer this market, so this is a FanDuel-only market. Really good play. There we go. If nothing else, guys, there's a ton of plays out here. Okoro, Markkanen, all these plays are really good high EV edge plays. The game's about to start now. Get this in. The sports books aren't going to think that you're super sharp because you're literally betting right before the game starts. Irish for Onyx, haven't really, you've seen a play or two, but haven't really cooked anything up. Appreciate you tuning in, man. I'm honestly out of breath right now. We've covered a lot of ground. Questions, guys, anything that I didn't cover that you have questions on, email me, DM me. Normally, I don't always respond to comments on X, but if you DM me, I definitely respond to DMs, right? So even if you have something not nice to say, I'll respond to it and be very kind. Otherwise, guys, appreciate the support. Appreciate you tuning in. If you found value in the content, smash the subscribe button. Otherwise, though, have a fantastic Tuesday. Enjoy all of the sports that's going on tonight, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.